Here is my team selection going into game week 35. Okay, so starting off with the goalkeepers and defenders, one player I'm considering transferring out, and you'll find out who for as you continue through the video, but Kepa is currently my starting keeper. I've got Raya as my other one, but I think Kepa with Bournemouth away probably has the better fixture, so I've gone with him. Trippier, Estupinian and Chilwell are my defenders. Again, I'm not too massively keen on the Chelsea defence, but I mean, Bournemouth away is a really good fixture for them. And yeah, I just feel like they've got a decent chance of keeping a clean sheet in that one. Trippier, it was a difficult decision to start him or Zinchenko. Zinchenko being the defender that I've benched, but I just feel like the home advantage for Newcastle probably gives them an advantage, in terms of FPL points. Trippier is actually higher for expected points, and I also feel, I know Zinchenko gets forward and plays he's an inverted fullback, isn't he? So he gets right in the mix of the midfield for Arsenal, but I just feel like Trippier has a better chance of attacking returns, and I don't feel like Newcastle have been too bad defensively. It's just a case they've just been conceding the goals that they weren't conceding when they were going through their clean sheet run. I feel like on their clean sheet run, they were just making quite lucky blocks in some cases, and Nick Pope was playing out of his skin. And I just feel like he's returned to a level of normality, and yeah, they're just conceding some of the goals that earlier in the season someone would have got a block to. So yeah, I feel like Newcastle are due a clean sheet soon, and I'm not sure it's going to come with Arsenal at home, but I do feel like Trippier has a good chance of attacking returns in that one. Estupinian, I'm definitely starting with him. Brighton against Everton have the strongest clean sheet odds of any team in game week 35 along with Man City, so for me it makes total sense to go with him. Now the midfielders and forwards is where it starts to get a little bit tricky with my team. Solly March is nowhere to be seen. He at the moment is on my bench, but it's really tough as to who I start him for. It could be Ollie Watkins, could be Isak, could be Grealish even, but at the moment I've got Solly March on my bench. Rashford, Grealish, Matoma, Salah, my midfield, Watkins, Haaland and Isak, my front three. And as I said, I think Ollie Watkins could make way for March, but Wolves away is a strong fixture. They've just lost 6-0 to Brighton, so I think they'll probably have a bit of a comeback from that. But I know he didn't score against Man United, but I feel Ollie Watkins looks dangerous in almost every game I see him play. He's on the penalties, guaranteed to start, play 90 minutes. Wolves away is a good fixture. I just feel like he's a better option than Solly March, even though I believe March's expected points, I think he's on around 5.3, which is obviously higher than what Ollie Watkins says there, 4.7. But yeah, I just feel like Ollie Watkins is a better option than him this week. And if you're going through a similar dilemma, who to bench of your Brighton midfielders like I am, maybe that helps you make the decision. And Matoma, I know in the previous videos I've said I feel like March is overall a better asset, but Matoma's the one who's got, seems to be scoring the goals and getting the most attacking returns. And for expected points, he takes the lead in terms of the Brighton midfielders. He's higher than McAllister, he's higher than March, so for that reason, I've gone with him. Not really sure who else to talk about in too much detail. Obviously, Isak, Arsenal at home. I know, on paper that's a tricky fixture, but without Saliba in defence, Arsenal have been conceding goals pretty much. Well, I think every game that Saliba's missed, Arsenal have conceded goals. And Isak has been, Newcastle in general have been scoring, multiple goals in every game they've played so far. And St James's Park in particular, it's almost similar to how Anfield impacts Liverpool. St James's Park has such a positive impact on Newcastle. So I feel like Isak's due, a decent point score against Arsenal. So for that reason, all of these players, I just prefer them to March. Haaland's my captain, no doubt about it. 9.4 points, fixture being Leeds at home. I don't really think you could ask for much better of a fixture at the moment. I know they're about to recruit Big Sam by the looks of it, but I don't see him being able to keep Haaland quiet at the Etihad. So yeah, he's going to be my captain. Salah vice, but I think the difference in expected points is too big not to go for Haaland this week. And here's the full team. As I mentioned, March makes my bench. I just can't, 5.4 expected points, I said 5.3 earlier, but I just can't justify starting him over any of my other players. Maybe in the comments you can let me know a suggestion for who to bring him in for, but I just feel like with Isak, potentially taking penalties and being in such good form, Watkins being on penalties for Villa, it just makes them better options in my opinion, even though in some cases the expected points are lower. For me, it was obvious to bench Raya. Liverpool away is a much tougher fixture than Bournemouth away. Botman and Zinchenko, I don't think they're quite as good as the other defenders. I'm always going to play Trippier over Botman, and I don't feel like either really Newcastle or Arsenal are keeping a clean sheet. So that's why I've selected the team I have with the 15 players I've got. Now, I mentioned the one player that I'm considering getting rid of out of my team is Kepa at the moment. As you can see here, I'm looking to replace him with David De Gea. I think De Gea has been in really good, like since the mistakes he made against Sevilla, he's been back to playing his best for Man United. And initially I was worried about how Man United's defence would do without Varane and Martinez in their team. But Shaw and Lindelof have formed a really good partnership, and actually Shaw, has complemented Lindelof really well and actually made Lindelof look like quite an accomplished defender, because in reality I think he is. It might have been that the fact that he was playing with Maguire made him look quite a lot worse. But Man United now, they've definitely, I think by 3 or 4 clean sheets now, they've kept the most clean sheets in the Premier League this season. So De Gea's on for the Golden Glove with 15 clean sheets so far, and he's averaging 2 saves per game. At the moment, I think there are 2, maybe 3 goalkeepers you could consider to be the best in the game at the moment. One of them being Nick Pope, one of them being David De Gea, and the other one being Ederson. And I feel like De Gea wins in terms of clean sheets. He also makes saves. Obviously, Pope probably makes more saves. Then Ederson doesn't really do either at the moment. I know people are considering Man City to be a strong defence, but they've been conceding goals every game, and especially when Ederson doesn't make saves, I mean, you're pretty much going to guarantee almost a blank every game, whereas De Gea, if he doesn't keep a clean sheet, he's got a good chance of saves bonus to back it up. And ultimately, I feel like with goalkeepers in FPL, the ones that really score the most points in general seem to be the cheaper ones who play for like mid-table teams that just consistently make lots of saves. Cast your mind back to someone like Brad Friedel, if you're an ancient FPL player like I am, or someone like Emiliano Martinez, when he first signed for Aston Villa. Those are the kind of keepers that score really well, the ones that make saves. So for that reason, I think De Gea is the strongest goalkeeping option in the game at the moment. And I think now is the time. I don't have any major other fires to put out in my team. So I feel like now, with a double game week in 37 that Man United has, as you can see there, Bournemouth and Chelsea, I think now is a good time to get prepared for that and bring him into my team. And that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like rating, and if you're new around here, subscribe to the Golden Goal channel. Let me know if you think I should bench March or someone else. That's a bit of a dilemma I've got at the moment, so I'd appreciate some of your input in that one. I'll catch you in the next video.